Good morning, girls. So, today we are going to talk about the therapeutic diet and the diet for anemia, heart disease, obesity, and diabetes mellitus. So, last class we saw what is diet therapy. So, now we are going to talk about therapeutic diet. So, therapeutic diet it is nothing but a diet prescribed by doctors or dietitians according to the patient's disease. So example for common therapeutic diet or gluten-free diet. So gluten is nothing but a group of proteins found in cereal grains which leads to indigestion. So the patients with the diet should be gluten-free because the indigestion causes many issues for the patients. So clear liquid diets, full liquid diets, and no concentrated sweet diet, and diabetic calorie controlled diet, renal diet, low fat diet, and high fiber diet, and no added salts diet, etc. So these are the diets prescribed by the doctors or dietitians. That is gluten free diet, clear liquid diets, full liquid diets, and no concentrated sweet diet. That is for diabetic, it should be calorie controlled renal diet, and low fat diet, high fiber diet, and no added salts diet, etc. So the principle of nutrition which is related to the health is to the treatment of patients suffering from various diseases. So the principle of nutrition related to health apply also to the treatment of patients suffering from various diseases. So diet in disease must be planned according to the patient. Many modifications should be done according to the disease and the condition of the patient. So there are certain principles which is used for the guidance. So the principle of nutrition which is related to the health is to the treatment of patients suffering from various diseases. It should be planned and modified according to the disease and the condition of the patients. So the principle of therapeutic diet is, so the carbohydrates are usually well tolerated and are necessary to maintain the stores of liver glycogen. The carbohydrate is very necessary for the patients, and the tolerance of fats varies in different individuals, and this nutrient should not be forced if there is nausea and vomiting. So nausea, you know, it is giddiness, vomiting. So the fat free diet should we should give the fat free diet for those patients having nausea and vomiting. In illness such as illness, there is usually increased demand for proteins. So any illness, that is for any illness, for any disease, there is an increased demand for proteins due to a wasting, and this should be given in easily digestible forms such as milk, egg, chicken, and fish. So the requirements of calcium and iron must be maintained during illness, and it is necessary to check. And fat soluble vitamins often needed to be added as a concentrate if the patient has to be on a fat restricted diet for a long time. So the demand for vitamin C is greatly increased in fevers, and it is especially necessary for the healing of wound after surgery. And roughage, that is excess roughage, is nothing but it is a fibrous, indigestible material which is found in vegetables, and it is not easily digestible. So excessive bulk hinders the penetration of the digestive juice, but it may be necessary to include foods with a moderately high residue content to produce daily bowel action. So fluids are very important to prevent dehydration, which is common in conditions of fevers, diarrhea, and vomiting. In such condition, 2500 to 3000 ml must be given in 24 hours with as much variety as possible both in appearance and in taste. So this is the principle of therapeutic diet. So carbohydrate should be given to maintain the stores of liver glycogen, and the fat should not be forced for the patient if they are suffering from nausea and vomiting. For any illness, there is an increased demand for proteins, and calcium and iron must be maintained during the illness, and it is necessary to check the level of calcium and iron. And fat soluble vitamins needed to be concentrated if the patient has to be on a fat restricted diet for a long time. And vitamin C is very important in for the patient having fever, and it is also necessary for the healing of wounds after surgery. So the roughage is nothing but a fibrous indigestible material found in vegetable, and it is not easily digestible. So it is excessive bulk hinders the penetration of the digestive juice, but it may be necessary to include foods with a moderately high residue content to produce daily bowel action. So fluids are very important to prevent dehydration for the patient having fevers, diarrhea and vomiting. So 2500 to 3000 ml should be given in 24 hours with much variety as possible. So this is the definition for therapeutic diet, and it is principle of therapeutic diets. Now we will talk about the therapeutic diet for diabetes mellitus. So diabetes mellitus, it is a condition in which the secretion of insulin by the islets of Langerhans in the pancreas is deficient or absent. So that is the patient is suffering from diabetes. It is characterized by hyperglycemia, that is high level of high blood sugar, and glycosuria, that is excretion of glucose in the urine. And next is polyuria, that is excretion of large amount of urine. Polydipsia, it is nothing but intense thirst despite drinking plenty of water. Polyphagia is nothing but excessive eating. And so it is characterized by all these diseases, and it is if it is untreated for a long time by loss of weight. So this is the diet for the diabetes mellitus patients. So morning, there is for vegetarian, there are two types here, vegetarian and non-vegetarian. For vegetarian patients, tea or coffee without sugar. Breakfast, cornflakes with milk. And for vegetarian, cheese. For non-vegetarian patient, boiled egg and toast with butter, and toast for non-vegetarian, toast with butter, and tea or coffee without sugar. Mid morning, again tea or coffee without sugar. Lunch is nothing but cooked rice or chapati or bread for both vegetarian and non-vegetarian. And for vegetarian, cooked soup, and for non-vegetarian, cooked dal. For vegetarian, vegetable soup. For non-vegetarian, mutton or fish curry. Papad, curds, a roasted groundnut or cashew nut for both vegetarian and non-vegetarian. Fruit, half apple or one slice of papaya or mango. Food, and for both the vegetarian and non-vegetarian. For this evening, salt biscuits, roasted nuts, tea or coffee without sugar, and dinner similar to lunch. This is the diet for diabetes mellitus. Now we will talk about the therapeutic diet for heart disease. What is it is a majority of heart disease are due to coronary atheroma. It is nothing but a fatty deposit in the inner lining of an artery, and atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis is nothing but buildup of fats, cholesterol, and other substances in and on the artery walls. So it is a fatty deposit in the inner lining of an artery. So it is used to denote condition in which lipid is deposited in the intima of the blood vessels. So calories, it should be 1800 to 2000 kilocalories. Fat should be rich in essential fatty acids, 60 gram. Proteins, 50 to 60 gram. One multivitamin tablet providing the daily requirements of all essential vitamins should be given daily. And the diet is for vegetarian and non-vegetarian. Weak tea, next is cornflakes with skimmed milk or bread or idli, one serving. cheese 2 slices, fruits 1 serving, weak tea 1 cup. And lunch, cooked rice or chapati 1 serving. And for vegetarian, dal soup 1 cup. For non-vegetarian, mutton soup, cooked vegetables. And for here, mutton or fish 1 serving, cheese 2 slices. For non-vegetarian, curds 1 cup. And for vegetarian, curds 2 cups. And fruits 1 serving for both the vegetarian and non-vegetarian, skimmed milk, pudding half cup. And biscuits 2, fruits 1 serving, weak tea 1 cup. And the dinner is similar to lunch. Now let's talk about therapeutic diet for anemia. And anemia happens when your body doesn't have enough healthy red blood cells. So this condition is mainly caused by blood loss, the destruction of red blood cells, or your body inability to create enough red blood cells. So there are different types of anemia. The most common type is iron deficiency anemia. So red blood cells contain a protein called hemoglobin. It is full of iron. So without sufficient iron, your body cannot make the hemoglobin if needs to can create enough red blood cells to deliver oxygen-rich blood throughout your body. So a lack of folic acid and vitamin B12 may also impact your body's ability to make red blood cells. If your body cannot process B12 properly, you may develop pernicious anemia. What is pernicious anemia? It is decrease in red blood cells. Diet rich in iron, B vitamins, vitamin C, like the plant, it is very important if you have anemia. But you should be talk to the doctor before going all the diets. So anemia, what is anemia? It is your body doesn't have healthy red blood cells. It is caused mainly by blood loss or the destruction of red blood cells and your body's inability to create enough red blood cells. So most common type is iron deficiency anemia. So it is a protein called hemoglobin is produced. Its hemoglobin is full of iron. Without this iron, your body cannot make the hemoglobin if it needs to create enough red blood cells to deliver the oxygen-rich blood throughout your body. So lack of folate and vitamin B12. So you need to have folic acid and vitamin B12 uh, tablet to increase your blood. So you may develop pernicious anemia, that is loss of red blood cells. So you should have diet rich in iron, like vitamin B and vitamin C. So it is very important if you have anemia. So this anemia diet plan. So our anemia treatment plans often include dietary changes. So the best diet plan for anemia includes food rich in iron and other vitamins essential to hemoglobin and red blood cell production. It should also include foods that help your body absorb iron better. So there are two types of iron in foods, heme iron and non-heme iron. So heme iron is found in meat, poultry and seafood. Non-heme iron is found in plant foods and foods fortified with iron. So your body can absorb both types, but it absorbs heme iron more easily. So the recommended daily allowance for iron is 10 milligrams for men and 12 milligrams for women. So anemia treatment plan, it is individualized and it requires 150 to 200 milligram of elemental iron daily. You will likely need to take prescription iron or even over-the-counter iron supplement until your levels are replenished. So all these foods to your diet to get more iron and help iron fight iron deficiency anemia, like leafy greens, vegetables, meat and poultry, seafood, fortified foods, beans, nuts and seeds. These are the diet for patients having anemia. So anemia, so you should have leafy greens, vegetables like spinach, kale, collard greens, dandelion greens, Swiss chard. All these are leafy greens, vegetables. Meat and poultry, All the meat and poultry contain heme iron. Red meat, lamb are the best sources. Liver is most popular organ meat. It is very rich in iron and folic acid. Some other iron-rich organ meats are heart, kidney, and beef tongue. They are rich in iron. Seafoods, they also provides heme iron, like shellfish such as oysters, clams, scallops, crabs, and shrimp are the good. Most fish contain iron. Next is fortified foods. What is fortified foods? It is nothing but it contains added vitamins and minerals that are not naturally present in them. So it contains added vitamins and added vitamins and minerals. So uh, fortified orange juice, fortified ready-to-eat cereals, foods made from fortified refined flour such as white bread, fortified pasta, and foods made from fortified cornmeal, fortified white rice. Next, beans are the good sources of iron for vegetarians and meat eaters. They're also inexpensive and versatile. So, some iron rich options are kidney beans, chickpeas, soybeans, black eyed peas, pinto beans, black beans, peas, and lima beans. Nuts and seeds, they are good sources of iron. They taste great on their own or sprinkled on salads or yogurt. So, some nuts and seeds that contain iron are pumpkin seeds, cashews, pistas, hemp seeds, pine nuts, and sunflower seeds. So, when following a diet, you should remember these guidelines, like don't eat iron rich foods with foods or beverages that block iron absorption. These include coffee or tea, eggs, foods high in oxalates, and foods high in calcium. These food will block the iron absorption. So we should not eat iron rich foods with foods or beverages that block iron absorption. So these are coffee, tea, eggs, foods high in oxalates, and foods high in calcium will block the iron absorption. Eat iron rich foods with vitamin C rich foods such as oranges, tomatoes, or strawberries to improve absorption. Iron rich foods with foods that contain beta carotene, so such as apricots, red peppers, and beets to improve absorption. Eat a variety of heme and non-heme iron foods throughout the day to up your iron intake. Eat heme and non-heme iron foods together whenever possible to increase iron absorption. Add foods rich in folate and vitamin B12 to support red blood cell production. So this is the therapeutic diet for anemia. Let's talk about for obesity. As you know, obesity is nothing but increase of weight. So managing obesity includes lifestyle changes, dietary modification, and increased physical activity. So you should have a proper lifestyle, dietary modification, and your physical activity is very important. And proper medication or surgery can help the patient lose weight. So that work is the simplest. There are tons of diet plans floating around the internet with hefty promises of quick weight loss. Of these diet plans, the ones that work the best are the plans that reduce the number of calories you eat and are easy to stick to over time. So the simplest diet is to increase your intake of vegetables, fruits, and whole grains, and lean proteins while avoiding sugary snacks and processed foods. You should avoid sugary snacks and processed foods. Low carbohydrate diets like Atkins diet, South Beach diet, or ketogenic or keto diet. These are the low carbohydrate diet. Involves reducing the number of carbohydrates you eat each day while increasing the amount of protein. So these diets often restrict carbohydrates to just 20 to 50 grams per day. So when you eat this few carbohydrates, your body begins changing fat into compounds known as ketones. Your body switches to using ketone acids, main sources of energy. So the low carbohydrate diet encourages us to eat a lot of protein, which has been shown to burn more calories during digestion than carbohydrates or fat, and helps keeps you full longer. So one study showed that low carbohydrate diets like the Atkins diets are more effective for weight loss than other types of diets. So Atkins diets are more effective for weight loss. Next, we have plant-based diets. Like vegan or plant-based diets put emphasis on eating whole foods such as fruits, vegetables, and whole grains while avoiding meat, dairy, and processed foods. So, in one study, trusted source involving 75 participants who were overweight or had obesity, those who ate a vegan diet saw significant improvements in body weight, fat mass, and insulin resistant markers. So, plant based diets may also help reduce your risk for heart disease and other health issues. So, when you are obese, you have the chance to get heart disease or diabetes mellitus. So it is very important to maintain your diet when you have obesity. So today we discussed about the therapeutic diet for anemia, heart disease, obesity, and diabetes mellitus. Or among this, therapeutic diet for diabetes and heart disease is very important. So thank you very much. If you have any doubt, please ask me through WhatsApp or in Google Classroom. Thank you very much.